Ah, fall, the best time of the year. Oh my gosh, my PSL is gone. My PSL is gone! Where's it gone? Hello and welcome to another episode of Superhero Saturday. I'm your host, Annie Pasquinelli, and this week we're going to talk about one of my favorite seasons of the year. No, I'm not talking about Pumpkin Spice Latte season, although I am a classic white girl and I love me some pumpkin spice. I mean back to school season. I love going back to school. In fact, I've pretty much always loved it. I love new classrooms, meeting new people, getting new classes, figuring out all of the first week of school things. Ah, good times. Yes, I am a super nerd. It also means in the stores you can go in there and find new backpacks, new shoes, new clothes, and y'all know how much I love me some new clothes. But mostly it means office supplies galore. I am not even kidding you. Dry erase markers, pencils, sticky notes, those little things that keep everything organized in your drawer. Oh my gosh. Everything. Plus, it signals the start of a whole new season of learning new things. And that is actually what I love most. And that's a good thing, because half of my job as an author is to research all of the different things that I'm writing about, to fact check whether or not this thing actually exists in the real world, or to research how something works, or to find out, the history of some kind of superpower. Learning new things is a key part of my job. And not to brag, but I'm kind of an expert at it. For good or bad, this season of my life, I am not attending new classes. Unless you count all of the YouTube tutorial videos that I like to binge watch on occasion. So for this week's video, I'm going to share my vast depth of knowledge of how to start school years off right with you, my super friends. So buckle up, super friends, because it's time to get super organized. Getting your home workspace organized even before you start classes is the single best way to help give yourself a boost to start off the year right. It's kind of hard to tell here because I've got all of these curtains up and my sound booth is in the background. But the best place to have your desk is somewhere facing a wall or maybe even a window, as long as the stuff outside the window isn't super distracting. The purpose of placing your desk like this is so that when you're working, all of your peripherals are focused on your workspace and not getting distracted by other things that are going on in your house. It's also important to keep your desk area clean and clear before and after you're done working. During your work time, of course, you can do whatever you want. You can put notes everywhere, you can throw things in places, and I certainly do. But making sure to clean and put everything away afterwards so that the next time you sit down, you have a clean slate is a great way to make the most of your time. Organize all of your notes and folders and things by class, by color, and by project type, especially on your computer. I can't tell you how many hours I've lost looking and searching on my computer for whatever file that I need, when really it's just if I had just taken the time to put it into the right folder at the start when I created the file or when I received the file, things would have gone a lot smoother. And color coding things is also a good idea. Well, at least it helps keep my brain clear of clutter when everything is organized in nice little rainbows. Put everything you're going to need in a place where you can easily reach it. Things like pens and paper and even sticky notes and notepads are great for making sure that when you need to do something, you waste no time in doing it right that second. If you're like me and you forget things really quickly, it's especially important to be able to write it down really quickly and slap it somewhere so that when you're done with the project that you're currently working on, you can double back and find that note and get right back onto what you remembered or thought of at that time. Because as soon as you jump up out of your seat, you're opening yourself up to a world of distractions. Speaking of keeping things clean, I personally like to organize my desk space so that I can't see any clutter. Now, that doesn't mean that there isn't any clutter, but at least when I sit down or when I put things away, the clutter is gone and out of my brain. Anything in my line of sight can become a distraction, especially when it's messy. So take that distraction away by closing up the drawers and putting things behind closed doors. See, this drawer is a total mess. We've got cat treats and thumbtacks and notes and spoilers. It's a giant clutter mess until I close the drawer and put it away. Speaking of distractions, leave your cell phone away, if at all possible. Now, I understand that having your cell phone on hand in case of emergencies or if some kind of call comes in, it's good to have it. But me personally, if I'm working and I see my cell phone, even just out of the corner of my eye, I think, oh, I'm just gonna take a quick 5-minute break and look on Facebook or Instagram or what have you. And then 20 minutes later, I'm still on my phone and I haven't gotten any work done. Just make sure to put your cell phone somewhere that's far enough away that it's out of your line of sight and out of your reach. And then leave the volume on if you need to, or off, or on do not disturb mode or whatever, so that it's not a distraction. Snacks are also a very important part of getting into the work mode at home. If you're hungry, that means your brain really isn't in a mindset to do work because it's falling back onto survival instincts. So the best way to combat that is to have a snack on hand and in reach. Now, the type of snack is usually pretty important. I prefer popcorn because it's quick and easy and it's not super sugary. It's got a little bit of salty, buttery taste to flavor it up, and you can just reach and grab whenever you need it. However, if you find something that's small, relatively healthy, and takes a little bit of time to eat and you can just nibble on one at a time, that works really well because then you're feeding your face and getting work done at the same time. So experiment around and see what works for you. The other most important thing to have on hand with regards to your bodily functions is water, especially if you're staring at screens all day long. Making sure you're hydrated means that your eyes and your body are all focusing really well. And it means you've got built-in potty breaks. Come on, load already. Oh, that's it. I just gotta go potty. Speaking of breaks, it's really handy to give yourself a solid deadline for when you want to work. Because if you have a solid deadline, then it gets rid of that voice in your head that says, oh, I can do this later sometime. I don't need to do it right now. So it puts off that procrastination element. And it kind of helps for my perfectionism also, because then I don't have the time to do it 110% perfect. Dress comfortably, but not too comfortably. As much fun as working in your pajamas sounds, it's actually not very effective. Studies have shown that even if you just put on your tennis shoes with your pajamas, you work better because your brain is already in work mode rather than sleep mode. For me personally, I like to wear a t-shirt, jeans, maybe a sweater, and high heels. I love high heels. They make me feel confident and pretty, and that kind of attitude is great to have when you're going into learning something that you're not familiar with. However, I also don't like to walk around in high heels. So it kind of serves as a dual purpose. It gives me confidence, it gives me shoes that make me feel like I'm working, and it keeps me from getting up and wandering around the house. These are just some of the many high heels in my collection, but they never see the light of day because I only wear them when I'm sitting at my desk working. They're shiny, they're awesome, there's a ton of different colors and styles, and I hate walking in all of them. So this is where they stay. Speaking of high heels, it actually brings us into our next point, which is to make sure that you have good posture. Right now I'm kind of leaning over to the side so you can see my desk and me at the same time, but making sure that you're sitting up straight and you got your arms at the right angle and your feet at the right angle is actually really important. Doing something that's like in a weird position for long periods of time can create problems with your body. It can actually injure your neck, your arms, your head, your back, all sorts of things. So the best thing to do is to find a chair that's comfortable to sit in straight and that approaches your desk and your workspace at the correct height for your body. And high heels actually do that for me because I've got short little legs. A really effective tip for working really well is to have a plan to reward yourself later on. Story time! The way that I finished writing my undergraduate dissertation was by going online and purchasing a ticket to see, I think it was the Avengers movie. And I told myself, if I can finish my dissertation by the time that this movie starts, then I can go see it. And I did. So I went and saw it. Having that tangible reward for afterward gives your brain the assurance that you're going to have fun. It's just going to be a little bit later. And that's a great motivator to help you get your work done. Now, I could give you guys tips until the sun comes up, But the biggest tip of all is that you need to figure out what works well for you and do it. Make a conscious effort and evaluate your study sessions to see if something works and something isn't working quite as good as it should be. For example, if you try eating popcorn for your snack, that might work well for you, but if you spend too much time trying to pick kernels out of your teeth and you end up getting distracted by that, then maybe you should try something else. There are a million different ways to study and to get things done, and you need to focus on what makes you work the most productively and do that. And if at some point it stops working so well, change it. Take no prisoners. Make no excuses. Get it done. Then you can work like the superhero you were made to be. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button down below. And if you really liked it, hit the subscribe button to see new videos every week. And if you want to join the Fearless 9, go ahead and hop on over to our Patreon page and become a supporter. You can even get free exclusive content, awesome swag, and more just by signing up. Good luck, super friends, and we'll see you next week. So it's dark in here, so this video quality probably isn't going to come out too well, but if you can see right here, this is Mr. Ranger Blanky, and this is the blanket that I'm trying to make. I literally am trying to make it right now, but Mr. Blanky, per his namesake, likes to sit on my blankies while I'm doing them. So, yeah, he's a happy cat.